ain't just no one within their structure. They don't do that. One person can speak for them, or a committee of people that they've assigned can in fact make one call. So all you have to do is speak to one person in order for them to be effective, and they move in accord like one motion. Whereas within our demographic of Africans, there's so many different factions and regions. Can't just one person make a call, because it's always a Paru or a Hoover or a neighborhood that's like, that nigga can't speak for us, or a Bay Area, but you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why it's a lot more complicated, because within the black demographic, it's so vast. There's so many different tribes, let's say, that just can't one president speak for us. Where within them, guess what they align under that only requires one voice? That motherfucking Rasa.
Right.
That Mexican heritage. That's what linked him. See, we disassociated ourselves with Africanism. But even in Africa, all Africans don't go under one banner as Africans. That's something that we've subscribed to within the diaspora. They're either, I'm a Nigerian, or I'm from Congo, or you dig what I'm saying? They're more on the ethnic tip, just like we is in the urban demographics in California. But with the Hispanics, especially in America, in the penitentiary, they're able to align up under their Hispanic, their Mexican heritage. And that's the one thing that allows that one voice to resonate within all their minds. Within blacks, there's so much separation, homie. It's hard for us to gather that voice. But now this is what brings the next link to our conversation, from where you were trying to articulate to me that what I was espousing about the revolutionary movement was of an ancient context. No, this is the teaching and the foundation from the elders that are striving to link all these different tribes and factions within our demographic up under that one banner. And guess what it is? It's not all ancient cement in Africa up under Mansa Musa and Patrice Lumumba. It's the new African revolutionary banner, because we not them old ancient Africans no more. No, we new Africans. Now we the Bloods, the Crips, the Bay Areas, the et cetera, that are representing the diaspora of what the new black man outside of Africa that have been kidnapped all these years, but still know the root where he come from. Just like that Mexican know that Rasa, he still know that root is Africa. He's that new African. That's why when you asked me about what I represent, I said I'm a new African revolutionary nationalist. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, this is why the teaching is so important, because we got to start finding the commonality, like I said, and not the differences. That's the way that we going to be able to move as a solid machine. And guess what? How can an individual be upset with an African that come from the Damu tribe originally, but elevate to a framework now, which is just as concerned about your safety as a warrior, but as I am about the advancement of your grandma and your mama in the community? Not to knock the homies, but bloodism in its form represented today don't even really look out for the homies like it's supposed to. You think it's considering a nigga mama and grandma and the children's well-being and sustenance on a higher level as well? So how can the individual who now see his homie elevate to a level where now he's not considering just the demographic of the community?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Which is the military branch, the gangs, the homies, the set. But the entire community, which is now inclusive in considering the welfare of the grandbaby, the grandmas, and the children as well. Now it then went to that revolutionary mind frame, that stand up in that black man mind frame, but not severing my ties with the revolutionary branch or the military branch, because that's where I come from, and I understand that that's just as instrumental as the elevated part. But they're all mechanisms of the machine. That's what we got to strive to.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
When a European man come home and tells his mom and dad he joined the Marines or the Army, they call all the family members and celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Mm-hmm.
And we ain't just prideful enough to outright tell our moms and dads we done joined the Pyrus or the Emerald Hills Blood, because we know that representation doesn't have a positive connotation. That's a sham connotation. We need to change that demographic, bro.
I agree.
We the motherfuckers. This should be young Pyrus on Skyline and Meadowbrook with red flag in their white pocket and around their neck with fly ass flame trucks. So we can toss that shit to the children we need from Skyline and Meadowbrook safe, because that's their responsibility, bro.
Yeah.
That's your community, blood.
On
It ain't
everything.
on the police to patrol and make sure shit is right, blood. When
Yeah.
Miss Johnson, who's been living up here 80 years, house get broken into, blood. It ain't on the motherfucking SPPD to come and harass people. Miss Johnson should know a number to call of the community representatives that's gonna not only get her belongings back, but lace the young homie, blood. Why is you up in the set, robbing the set, blood? That don't work like that. You dig what I'm saying?
Man, do I? Yes. Again, man, that's a little Spank Booty, man. Live, you know what I'm saying? Coming from the penitentiary, man, up there in, where you at, the high desert, Susanville, man. We chopping and bopping, man, on some real life gangster. And when I say gangster, man, I mean political, presidential aspects of the way we living now and the way that we should try to accommodate and live in the future, man. You know what I mean? He's calling right back, man. We gonna tap right back in, because today, like I say, today is his day.
You have a prepaid call from
Maurice.
He's speaking at rare. That's what he exactly. Hey, shout out to Top. What is that? Topper Talk.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We're talking that real today,
you will not be charged for this call.
We're talking that real today, homie. You know what I'm saying? And this is, he's speaking on the same way I feel. This is how Najee Gangsta Boy Barbie feel, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than what we think it is. Go ahead, Lil Spank. Go ahead, bro. You still tapped in, man. Talk to them, man. They online. They listening.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Shout out Lil D Fresh. Shout out Top. What is that? Topper's Talk. Man, hey, man, stay digged in, because my boy letting us know the real. This is how I feel. How he feel is how I feel, homie. You know what I'm saying? We need to bring more love. We need to bring more respect and values to this little thing of ours, man. Go ahead, Lil Spank.
Yeah, all the time. And, so it's just like I said, but you always gonna have your antagonist, homie. And by that I mean, in today's lingo, your haters, or individuals who are just willing to sabotage your aims, homie. You always gonna have your backbiters and detractors, because one thing I learned, and this is about this book I read by Patrice Lumumba, that in order to discredit the movement, you gotta discredit the man. So if you could discredit the person who's articulating a certain thing, regardless of how good it may be for the collective, you will discredit everything he stands for. So now when you take into consideration, like you were saying, these different caricatures that individuals put up and how they've been manipulated and doctored. Remember, you was asking me about that earlier when you was talking about the little video that the propaganda individuals put out. Now you start to see, damn, this is some more funny game related. Ain't nothing I'm talking about when I'm bringing up a nigga on some gangster charges worthy of no motherfucking caricatures and shit, G. This shit is sincere shit that niggas been died for and got life sentences for, and some homies, well, now they getting condemned brothers up off death row, but that individuals that really put blood, sweat, and years in. Ain't nothing funny, mimicky, entertainment about none of this shit, bro. This shit's sincere, homie. Now, if you trying to get a laugh about a motherfucker, then we gonna call the young African that you just had on the show, and we gonna allow him to exercise his level of expertise in the comedic field. But when it comes to the rules and regulations of this gangster shit, and young impressionable homies is listening, and like I said, with the stages of bastardization, they don't have no real fathers at home. You motherfucking right. It's our responsibility to make sure that we standing on the shit that we saying, and that it's some real shit. Because if it's not, then we subjecting ourselves to be held accountable by the elders and the individuals who really take this shit personally. So that's why when a lot of these individuals get up and they try to sugarcoat violations of rules by claiming it is entertainment and all this old type of shit, or putting a price tag on this type of shit, homie, it ain't no price tag for a homie that got a life sentence. It ain't no price tag for a homie that we done lost in these warfares and different things that go on in our communities that continue to invigorate the fervor for which we stand for what we stand for, homie. It ain't no price tag that we would, not no real niggas like us, go sacrifice for that homie. So how dare an individual take this shit for granted and mimic it or belittle it in a character type way? Nah, that seems conducive with an individual with a political agenda. And like I said from the beginning, he's looking to discredit the man, because if you can discredit the man, it don't say honorably and under righteous pretense. It say simply to discredit the man or attempt to, and everything a nigga stand for gonna be discredited. So now we have to take into consideration a lot more of these slanderous propaganda things that we see and the goal behind them sincerely when we start to analyze. Because motherfuckers can listen to what I'm talking about and separate the chicken shit from the chicken salad, bro. And you could go to videos that's on YouTube that the little Stank Booty that put out 20 years ago, and I'm still chopping the same shit. So this ain't no motherfucking wave that I've been riding, and nigga know me from the streets of Juvenile Hall, Little Skyline, O'Farrell Park, niggas bumping to me at Fam Bam. It's like, what's up, young homie, what's bracking? And it's all boo. Oh, big little Stank blood, you the big homie. Yeah, little homie, you know, this is what it is, blood. I don't switch up, blood. I'm a real nigga. But this is what you asked me about earlier, too, Gangsta Boy. What it's going to take for us to mend those bridges. It's going to take real niggas that's able to be accountable, blood, and to hold their constituents, their immediate circle, accountable when they violate the rules and regulations. It can't be no home for me, G. A motherfucker gotta be just as adamant about shit when it's dealing with your ex-boom cone as you would when it's dealing with a nigga who's not close to you, bro. Because it's simply right and wrong. You can't administer that type of accountability across the board and it's first room to young homies and looking at a nigga for his character and not necessarily his geographical location, then we ain't gonna never get up out of this genocidal mind frame, but that got us spiraling and white folks capitalizing about this shit, huh?
Facts, bro. Do you think we be, I mean, because my thing is, huh? Go ahead.
No, go ahead, my brother.
No, I was just saying, man, I wonder if there's ever a way for us to do that. I was just wondering if there's ever a way to do that, man, because like I said, man, I feel like a lot of the push can come from the penitentiary. If people knew if they was going to get, so let me say this. You know how the Serranos, bro, if you go to prison, homie, for killing another Serrano, your ass is a lever. You know what I'm saying? And so off top, you know what I'm saying, immediately they kind of cut off that part of their little game. Because when I first started going to jail, they was, you know, Lomita Village and Encanto, PH, they was funking like hell. You know what I'm saying? But then, you know, once the line started being pressed on them,